What's going on? What's going on, guys? This is your man, Real Deal Steele, coming to you live in this special Midnight Mass edition. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Haven't done Midnight Mass in a bit, but yeah, it's good to be out here on the late night twilight with you fellow crypto vampires, and got a fun show lined up for you tonight, so just settle on in with the beverage of your choice, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're brand new here, I'd like to personally welcome you. You're watching Steven Steele Live. I'm, of course, Steven Steele. It's great to have you here. And so don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit all on that notification bell, because we'd love to have you be a part of what we do here. Who do we got in the chat active so far? We've got RW, we've got Mama Crypto, Emperor Doge, Bang Stun, Alan Schneider, Scott Herforth, Bass Fisher. Who else is up in here? Keith Havens, of course. Keith Havens. Swift Lipinski. Diamond Hands Freddy. Good to see you, Diamond. Freedom Fighter. What's going on? The Rock Lobster. Rock Lobster starting things off with the first super chat of the night. Vegas, baby. May 5th. Be there or be square. More details to come in a few weeks. That's pretty major news. So, for those of you who don't know, Rock Lobster is also the brainchild and frontman for the Eagles of death metal, and a long time, very active, awesome member of this community here. So essentially, I think what Rock Lobster is alluding to is perhaps his band will perform perhaps the first weekend of May. Is that what you're perhaps hinting to? Either way, it would be great to hang and see you, sir. So why don't we start working on this? Let's see where it goes. See if we can coordinate this Vegas madness, right? I think we're in for a real good time, and we'll just see how this we'll just see how this plays out. And I'm going to start really kind of working behind the scenes to cultivate that weekend. Who else we got here? We've got the Zombie Doge Army, of course. We've got SDL. Good to see you, SDL. Keep learning. Scotty Suitcases. I like Scotty Suitcases. I don't know if that's the name of your business. I don't really care. I like that as a name. I like that as a YouTube handle. Welcome, Scotty Suitcases. Who else? I think we're caught up. Oh, Josh Randell Disavows. Josh, where you been, man? Where you been? I feel like you've been kind of missing them lately, so welcome back to the fold, guys. Obviously, if you feel compelled to super chat anywhere throughout the duration of this broadcast, it's usually appreciated for the time and efforts I put in. Why don't we just get down to it, boppers? Top of the pops. What do we got here? Gadgets.com. Elon Musk responds to new McDonald's teaser as Dogecoin surged. And of course, this came out yesterday. You know, I covered this last night, right? The kind of misunderstanding and some people being let down by McDonald's not announcing anything to do with Dogecoin, and just kind of proceeding with a pretty pedestrian, unremarkable ad campaign that they launched yesterday, in my opinion anyway. And I have to just very respectfully disagree with some sentiments that I saw out there from some prominent figures within the Dogecoin community saying, kind of expressing, what did you expect? Why was anyone expecting anything out of McDonald's? It was pretty silly to expect anything in the first place. And I had a few people come after me for that as well. And, fair enough, but I will say this, and my defense and others who are at least speculating at the possibility of this happening. Look, when you look at the history between Elon Musk and Dogecoin and McDonald's, Elon Musk specifically asked and recommended McDonald's accept Dogecoin and that he would eat a Happy Meal if that were the case. So Elon Musk began this dialogue specifically about Dogecoin with McDonald's. So when McDonald's posted on February 12th that something's coming with yesterday's date on it, and then you see Elon Musk respond to it, of course, the natural inclination that some folks are going to go to, me included, and I never said that this was a for sure thing that McDonald's was going to accept Dogecoin. I was more asking the question, is McDonald's going to accept Dogecoin? You can look back in my archives, I even did a video short about it. I said this is a possibility. It may or may not happen. It may or may not have something to do with Kanye. I said that was probably a lower probability. I was wrong there because it ended up including Kanye, right? But given the track record between Elon Musk's correspondence with McDonald's, which in the past has only been about Dogecoin, to see Elon Musk only respond to the second time to McDonald's, of course it's going to be on your mind. Of course you're going to think this is a possibility, a probability. So I don't blame anyone for thinking that was going to happen, or thinking at least that was going to be a possibility. It makes perfectly logical sense. Of course, hindsight's always 20/20, and now we well know that wasn't the case. And Elon was more just making a provocative innuendo there with the splash emoji. And McDonald's had no plans to announce any sort of cryptocurrency integration. And, you know, it is what it is. But I think McDonald's has greatly benefited off of the incredibly high engagement rates from the Dogecoin community. But I do think it was a missed opportunity for Dogecoin. I mean, for McDonald's. And like I expressed last night, I do think that the Dogecoin community's efforts, polite pressure or engagement, rather, Doge-centric engagement, would probably be better spent on another franchise or franchises. So anyway, let's see what's going on in the chat. Scotty says, right though, I mean, Elon's tweets can move mountains, so after he asks them to accept it, people feed into it, which gets more and more feeding into it. But hey, you never know. Yeah, I think that's pretty well stated. I just thought it was kind of interesting because some folks, some very prominent folks, some folks I'm friends with, were saying, I don't know where this came from, that people, even in the Dogecoin community, kind of like shaming people in Dogecoin for even thinking that this is a possibility. It makes perfectly logical sense given the history and the interaction between Elon Musk and McDonald's. And I got another story here about it. I'm looking through my notes right now. And Benzinga covered this as well. I thought they did a marvelous job on it just this morning. Elon Musk hints at... Oh, no, that's a different story. Sorry. I've got so many notes here, guys. Well, I'll just circle back to it when I come across it again, or else I'll waste too much time looking for it. Next story is from the Daily Hold. FTX U.S. president says Bitcoin will steadily lose market share. Now listen to this, guys. This is the president of FTX saying this. Says Bitcoin will steadily lose market share to Ethereum, Solana, and other altcoins. Who is saying this? Who's been saying this? And who just had kind of a show based on this very concept just last week? Yours truly, right? I explained why I thought within the next 24 months that Ethereum could overtake Bitcoin in market cap value, which many people seem to think is outrageous. I do not. And so I have to say, I feel a little bit vindicated. Now that the FTX president has spoke out expressing a similar sentiment. In a new interview with CNBC's Squawk Box, FTX president Brett Harrison says altcoins like Ethereum and Solana are eating into Bitcoin's share of the pie. According to Harrison, the trend of Bitcoin's dominance over crypto market is waning over time and will likely continue. This is a direct quote from the president of FTX. We talk about Bitcoin dominance, which is the percentage market cap and market moves coming from Bitcoin. That has been going down steadily over time. Assets like Ether and alternative proof of stake assets like Solana and other alternative coins are all picking up in terms of market cap. Overall, we are going to see less and less of the total market share come from just one asset, Bitcoin alone. I completely concur. I'll just put this last thing in that he said here for you guys. We have hundreds of conversations with pension funds, family offices, large banks that want to get into crypto, and all their employees are privately into crypto, but the actual companies themselves aren't yet. It's a question of compliance and regulation. Many are waiting to pull the trigger for there to be more regulatory clarity in the U.S. and exchanges like ours. Now, folks, Ethereum is its application and its everyday use is absolutely through the roof compared to Bitcoin. I don't see this changing anytime soon. I am also a fan of Ethereum alternatives like Solana and like AVAX and Lunaterra are my favorites in that sector. I think that there's going to be plenty of room and plenty of things going on in the market. And as the metaverse picks up and NFTs continue to evolve and expand, and DeFi gaming continues to explode, I think that over a period of time, I think it's a pretty high likelihood that not only Ethereum ascends to the degree that I think it will likely become number one in time, but I think there's plenty of room in the market for Solana and AVAX and Lunaterra to all do pretty well respectively. So I think there's plenty of room to go around there. I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight, folks, but my prediction, and I think it's a solid one, is that Ethereum's market cap will overtake Bitcoin within the next 24 months. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to stay there, but I think it will happen. One day, for a week, and then eventually, I think Bitcoin dominance will be on the decrease. I'm not saying I see Bitcoin going lower than number 3 in the total market cap value. I don't see that happening. I think that Bitcoin is going to continue to be an amazing appreciating asset, a leverage against inflation, as they say, though right now, given inflation rates, it kind of makes you wonder. But I do see Bitcoin hanging tough as being a permanent residence on the top 3. I do not, however, see a future where there is just infinite, endless, Bitcoin dominance. I just really don't see that happening. I mean, the applications and the everyday usage that Ethereum experiences and will continue to experience and continue to expand on, and Dogecoin as well, by the way. I think the everyday use of Dogecoin is going to absolutely pick up full throttle in years to come. And it really wouldn't surprise me if Dogecoin rather ended up being number 3 market cap in the long run and stay around there. So that's kind of how I see things evolving there. And respectively, I think the most vibrant Ethereum alternatives are going to stick around that top 12 long term. I really do think that's going to be the case. In my opinion, this is not financial advice, but I think that both Ethereum and Ethereum alternatives like Solana, AVAX, Lunaterra, I see them as all solid long holds at this time. I really do. Anyway, The Hill. Go to the next story here. QR code Super Bowl commercial causes crash for cryptocurrency app. Of course, they are talking about Coinbase. And we discussed, I kind of gave my review in descending order from worst to first, on my opinion on which crypto exchange commercial during the Super Bowl did the best. And I said that I kind of went back and forth, right? Because I love Larry David. I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was absolutely marvelous in the commercial he did for FTX. And I personally just think Larry David's hilarious, so I'm a bit biased. But I think that Coinbase is probably number 1, with a close number 2, with Larry David coming in, doing that commercial for FTX, which I thought was brilliant, by the way. Now, there was a ton of criticism about this Coinbase Super Bowl ad, as it was kind of a lo-fi electro-sounding instrumental music playing in the background, with simply a QR code slowly bouncing across the screen for 60 seconds straight. Well, folks, what did I tell you last night? Unpopular opinion, but I actually quite like the ad. Again, I part with some of my close friends on my opinion on this, but I quite like the ad. I thought it was incredibly smart, incredibly effective. It got more press than any other crypto-related Super Bowl commercial, hands down. Love it or hate it, articles are continuously being written about it since it aired. Now get this, Coinbase is now the number 1 downloaded app in the iPhone store as of right now. And this also means it's the number 1 downloaded crypto exchange app out there since this commercial debuted just a little over 24 hours ago. Obviously, this has been a huge, magnificent success for Coinbase. So anybody arguing otherwise at this juncture, I would I would be pretty miffed to hear that argument. Furthermore, I thought it was really brilliantly laid out. If you scanned on the Coinbase QR code bouncing on the screen, one of two options awaited you. If you didn't previously have Coinbase, you were automatically offered a $15 in free Bitcoin upon making an account. If you already had a Coinbase account, you would get the option to enter to win $1 million in Bitcoin, which I, of course, entered. To me, this is win-win. I thought this was, again, I think it was brilliantly executed. I think it was obviously really incredibly effective. And again, it's very vindicating to see my assumptions about this play out in real time now, as Coinbase has just been exploding, absolutely exploding in popularity, and just record downloads and new users coming in. Also, folks, don't forget, what did I talk about last night? I said, yes, it's true that we didn't really see a Super Bowl bump in any capacity in terms of market value on Bitcoin or anything else. But we did see, actually, I take that back. We did see a minor Dogecoin bump early yesterday morning around 7 a.m. Dogecoin shot up about 8-9%, lasted about 2 hours in totality. And I think that was directly related to the anticipation of perhaps the McDonald's speculation, things like this. So I think that definitely played a direct role there. Because, well, Dogecoin was coming up about 8 or 9% in that short window of time yesterday morning, both Bitcoin and Ethereum were trading rather unremarkably. So that was an independently operating pump by Doge. Of course, we all would want to see a pump more significant than that, but sometimes you got to take what you get. But what point did I make last night? I said, even though we didn't see a pre or post market pump as a consequence of what became known as the crypto bull, I said, I think I've got a feeling that there's going to be hordes of new users signing up as a consequence of these campaigns. Many people disagree with me, but I think that a lot of brand new accounts got created yesterday as a consequence, particularly with that Coinbase ad. Now, what else did I say? We might see a delay in what could result in some very positive movement for the market as a consequence of a huge new influx of users coming in from the Super Bowl campaigns. And what happens when you're brand new, when you first sign up on a platform? You don't start trading immediately. No one starts trading right away. It usually takes about at least a few days between approval and for people to get their feet wet and start to comfortably get used to how the platform operates, and wait for that just kind of like ease of use to kick in before people start trading. That is the overall most common experience of a first-time user getting platform to a crypto exchange. So I think we really could see some positive momentum the further the week goes on as a consequence of all those new users coming in there. And I'm sticking to that. I said this was a pretty high probability last night. I think there's even more reason to believe that this will likely happen in days to come. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Guys talking about drinking. Bang Stun, I don't know if I gave you a shout out earlier, but good to see you. Paradiddle, what's going on? You snuck in there somewhere along the way. Texas Crypto coming in. I like that name, of course. Yeah, and the servers just got really flooded with Coinbase. The first time I tried to sign up for the $1 million Bitcoin contest, I got bounced out, it stalled out, but the second time I tried it, I got through just fine. So it wasn't down that long. It wasn't this catastrophe. Again, I really liked the Coinbase ad. I thought it was very smart. And I think now we've got the numbers to show just how smart it was, both the numbers and the press, right? So pretty cool there. Next coming up, This one comes courtesy of Cointelegraph. Super Bowl 2022. Here's the scoreboard of crypto ads. Pretty interesting. So Cointelegraph kind of doing what I did last night, kind of their day after ratings on the best crypto commercials. They talk about each one of them, but here's what they had to say about the FTX commercial. FTX, a crypto exchange founded by Sam Bankman-Fried, spared no expense in its first Super Bowl advertisement. Don't miss out, featuring comedian Larry David. The advertisement shows David dismissing life-changing technologies right when they were being invented, portraying as an authority figure in various historic timelines. David is seen rejecting the invention of the wheel, electricity, and the toilet. The comedian further opposes the United States Declaration of Independence. He shows skepticism about landing on the moon and portable music. Finally, when David dismisses the FTX app, saying, "I don't think so," the commercial addresses the viewers. Don't be like Larry. Don't miss out on the next big thing. I thought it was really brilliantly written. And then it kind of gives a review of the eToro ad. They don't really have much to say about it, and Cointelegraph seems pretty underwhelmed by that campaign, and I was as well. I was pretty unmoved by both the eToro ads and the Crypto.com ad. I thought was pretty bland and underwhelming, all things considered. But the clear runaway winners of the Crypto Bowl to me were FTX and, of course, Coinbase. So let's see what's next up here. We've got CoinDesk reporting. Federal judge releases Razzlecon. Who's Razzlecon? You may be asking yourself. Well, Razzlecon is a woman named AKA Heather Morgan. That name may sound familiar to you because she is basically the mastermind of what became the biggest crypto heist, hands down, in history, biggest financial heist in history, when her and her husband laundered over $4 billion in Bitcoin, I believe, in 2017. Monday's bail review hearing overturned last week's decision by a New York magistrate judge, at least for one suspect. Prosecutors allege that Ilya Lichtenstein, which is her husband, and his wife Heather Morgan conspired together to launder almost 120,000 Bitcoins worth over $5 billion in today's prices that were stolen during a 2016 hack of Bitfinex. The couple faces 2 conspiracy charges. Each could see them face up to 25 years in prison. Could you imagine that a New York hipster in jail for 25 years? I don't know if she'll make it. I don't know if she will. But she seems pretty well moneyed even before this. That's just kind of the vibe I get. Hopefully she is able to keep some of her fortunes to buy a good lawyer, because she's going to need it. And of course, as we know in America, law favors the wealthy. The couple faces 2 conspiracy charges that could see them in 25 years of prison. Judge ruled on Monday that Morgan could be released on bail, out on jail, and out on bail, and that's the way it goes. Ruh! Name that tune. Under strict conditions, but Lichtenstein will remain in custody pending trial. So we're going to continue to follow that. Of course, some of the most amusing news to come of that is Netflix also announcing that it will be doing a kind of docu-series about this ordeal, featuring Chris Smith, I think his name is, whose accolades include also directing Tiger King, amongst others. So sure will be a pretty zany entertainment there. Now, the lead story of tonight, we're going to get down to it, guys. Lead story of the night is Elon Musk hints at SpaceX Starlink accepting Dogecoin. That's right, folks. Elon Musk, earlier on Monday, Twitter user Johanna Kreider suggested that the SpaceX merge store and Starlink both should accept Dogecoin as payment. Musk responded to her with a wink emoji. leading many in the community to believe that the billionaire could integrate Doge payments on the Spacex merchandise store just as he did for Tesla last month. I'm in the process of switching internet providers, and I thought it'd be so cool to buy Starlink with Doge. That's where the idea came from, said Kreider on Twitter. It's a great idea. Starlink could also act as nodes in the Dogecoin network, enabling interoperability between Starlink satellites and Dogecoin ecosystem, commented another Dogecoin influencer. I wonder who that was. Let me check it out. Who said that? It's All Risky said that, of course. Of course It's All Risky said that. Where has Risky been? Risky usually pops in and says hi. It's been a bit. Risky, if you're watching and you're just lurking, hello to you, good sir. I hope things are going well for you. It's All Risky, of course, one of my favorite Doge-centric content creators out there. Excellent weekly newsletter. If you don't already check it out, highly recommend. Now, I do think this is going to happen. I don't know when. I would think that's going to happen after full Dogecoin Tesla integration, but I think these could be absolute game changers. Furthermore, this Starlink Dogecoin link really isn't far-fetched at all, particularly when you look at the Dogecoin Foundation's trail map of 2022 talks about this very thing. And I'm pulling it up right now, the roadmap. They call it a trail map. And they're calling it something called Radio Doge, which is essentially Starlink and radio nodes, Doge nodes from remote location. So this is been made a clear objective to happen within this year via the Dogecoin Foundation. I think these would be absolutely epic moves to make. I do think both of them are going to happen, at least within certain degrees, within the year. I think this Radio Doge project, as the Dogecoin Foundation is calling it, is potentially massive for Dogecoin. And I think it's just super cool and super exciting. Also, on that trail map for the year, don't forget they're talking about community staking and converting Doge to kind of a proof of stake. Then a point of sale with an L2 app. Super duper ambitious trail map for Dogecoin this year. Lots of exciting things to look forward to. Bloomberg reported space debris headed towards the moon. It isn't Elon Musk's. It's Chinese, astronomers said. This is kind of a funny story. So basically, a lot of space debris that's headed for the moon, it was being blamed on Elon Musk, but upon further inspection, it has nothing to do with Elon Musk or SpaceX. It's from Chinese space exploration systems that are causing that. So an interesting turn of events there. Now, crypto apps soar in popularity after Super Bowl splurge. So not only is Coinbase been fortunate recipients from their Super Bowl campaign, but pretty much the volume that every major crypto trading app is experiencing right now has been pretty enormous since yesterday. So I know a lot of people were saying very cynical things about it and saying it didn't really make a difference. I humbly disagree. I think it made a tremendous difference. Again, you're not going to see direct market improvements from hordes of new users coming in right away. It's going to take a little time. But overall, I think yesterday was a complete and total success for crypto as it related to the Super Bowl. Now, Zombie Doge Army put a little pep in my step. Thank you for the $10 super sticker. Thank you back, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Okay, Peter Schiff. How many of you are familiar with Peter Schiff? I follow Peter. He's kind of like the old guy that's always yelling at the sky. I've always found Peter to be actually fairly witty and amusing, even though he hates Bitcoin so much. It just makes me laugh. So Peter Schiff is now predicting that Bitcoin is going to fall to 10,000 within the year. According to Schiff, Bitcoin is on the verge of experiencing another fall as it has formed a critical pattern known as a double top, suggesting a strong bearish move. Double top indicator is a popular technical pattern marking the top of a bullish rally and considered finished when the price hits below the neckline. Currently, Bitcoin's neckline is around 30,000. Keep in mind, Peter Schiff's main bread and butter is literally owning, guess what, folks? Drum roll, please. Schiff Gold. Yes, he is the president of his own gold company. So why do you think Peter Schiff spends the majority of his time in a permanent smear campaign against Bitcoin night and day? Because it's the number one direct threat to his bottom line and his business. So Peter spends a lot of time championing what he believes are strong future for gold, and he propagates very pessimistic future for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. And he's obviously operating out of his own self-interest. Maybe he sincerely believes all this. I think it's a little bit of both personally, but either way, I think it's pretty hilarious. I think the probability of Bitcoin falling to 10,000 in 2022 is a very low one. I'm not taking it off the table. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'd say it's incredibly unlikely. Listen, I'll be the first to give it up for Peter if Bitcoin actually hits 10,000 in 2022. I don't think it's happening, but you know. This is a pretty interesting story. This kind of jumped out to me. This is at decrypt.com. Steve Aoki, get this. You guys know the DJ Steve Aoki. Says he made more money with NFTs than from 10 years of music advances. Yes, at a gala music event, the veteran DJ and producer said royalties don't even come close to paying musicians' bills. Steve Aoki is no stranger to NFTs. As an artist, Aoki has been in the NFT space for a few years and wants to see these unique assets transform the music industry. Aoki is also a fan of Gala Games and its latest offshoot, Gala Music. He gave the opening talk at a private Gala Music event in the Forum in Inglewood on February 10th, which began one-on-one Q&A. If I didn't have DJing, I would have to get a job, he said, drawing laughs from the crowd. But if I really to break it down, okay, in the 10 years I've been making music, this is a direct quote from Aoki. This is pretty interesting. In the 10 years I've been making music, 6 albums, and you combined all those advances. What I did in one drop last year in NFTs, I made more money and was also way more unhinged with music, Aoki said. He said part of the reason NFTs are so exciting is because how reliant they are upon the communities that spring up and support them. For Aoki, that's a great thing because many musicians have large, rabid followings. Of course, it's a match made in heaven for a guy like Aoki, right? Now, I used to make my living as a recorder and artist for many years. I was never living the high life or under very posh circumstances, but I made it for the most people in terms of I was able to make a living off of music for almost about a decade there. Did a lot of touring as well. Spent a good chunk of my life in recording studios and writing, recording, and obviously playing live. But I have to say, for as hard as you grind in the music industry, and you could become wildly popular, and still the royalties, particularly for streaming, are pretty dismal, guys. Pretty dismal. There's just not a lot there. You got to really love what you do in the music industry, because most people, even people that are artists that are pretty fairly popular, aren't making enough to cover their bills these days. Truckin' All Day coming in with a $10 super chat. So anyway, thank you, Truckin' All Day. Appreciate that. And I love the Revan. That's one of my favorite super stickers, by the way. The hippo and the gaming, peeling out gaming chair. I will say, I think this is one of the promising, very interesting evolutions in NFTs as it relates to the music industry, as it relates to the artists. I think this could be a very effective catalyst for artists to actually make some decent money for once. Independent artists, rather. And I think that we're going to see, particularly in the music industry, NFTs rapidly evolve and become a permanent facet within the music industry, and how the relationship it's going to directly affect the evolution of the relationship between fan and artist. Again, thank you, Truck on the Day. Appreciate it. So I think I covered that story well enough. CNBC, British authorities just seized NFTs for the first time at a 1.4 million fraud probe. Pretty huge bust here. Officials at Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs seized 3 NFTs as part of a probe into suspected tax fraud. NFTs are, goes on to say what NFTs are. So that is huge and a first. When did we all decide? We were never asked. And what I mean by that, we were never asked what NFTs should be called. I've never been satisfied with the name non-fungible token. It's just not, it doesn't have a ring to it. Why can't we just call it, I think it would have been just better if we all just agree to call it digital art or blockchain art, right? What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Can't we just call it digital art or blockchain art? Non-fungible tokens, it just doesn't sound very alluring, does it? It doesn't sound very alluring. Wowzers, let's see. Scotty says, I told someone about NFTs and he just got a thing going, a guy I knows, and we just had a meeting. He said he made 18 grand in a month. Wow. I wonder what his strategy is. Pretty good for a noob, man. Yeah, you did change his life. Maybe even changed his wife. You never know. But always great to hear stories like that. Always great to hear stories like that. Oh, and my trolls have been picking up, which means my engagement levels are going up, which is a good sign. What's interesting about the trolls, though, is occasionally I'll call them out and I'll invite them to have it out and debate me live on the air on this show, and they never take me up. Isn't that something? And they're always from anonymous profiles, right? It's just interesting how that works. The Block. Crypto apps soar in popularity after Super Bowl splurge. Another article talking about this. Again, I think these are very bullish moves that we're not going to necessarily see right away in market value. But I think what happened as a consequence of new users being ushered in through the crypto bull, I think we are going to see tangible results of this over the course of the next month. And I'm still very bullish on 2022 overall as it relates to both crypto and NFTs. And I know it's easy to get discouraged considering how things have been going the last couple months here. But I think a big breakout is due. It's kind of a blessing and a curse how high inflation is going, because I think it's also pushing more people to put their money in cryptocurrency given the volatility of the system right now. So it's going to be an interesting year, that's for sure. We can see your Swiffer. Yes, I have a Swiffer in the background. Yes. Like to keep a tidy space over here, guys. We like to keep a tidy space. Anyway, guys, that's about it for tonight. I didn't eat all day. You ever have such a busy day that you just forget to eat? That's the kind of day I had here. So I'm going to have a late dinner here, unwind to something on the TV. But I'll be around on the Twitter sphere. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, follow me at @MrStevenSteele_. That's the only official and real deal Steven Steele Twitter account out there. All the others are imposters. Anyway, appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you got something out of it. Hope you had a little fun at least. I know that I did. Until next time, we'll be back tomorrow night doing it to it. Same bad time, same bad channel. Until then, folks, this is your man, Real Deal Steven Steele, and Remy here, signing off. Until next time. Later.